Good morning, everybody. We're back at it again in the cannon area in the basement. I'm going to be doing tomatoes today. My daddy gifted me with 3 boxes of tomatoes, and I'm going to be working those up. I think I'm going to do 1 box probably as tomatoes and probably the other 2 boxes as tomato juice, but I'll do 2 separate videos for those. But right now we're going to start on the tomatoes, so come along with me if you're interested. Alright, here's my box I'm going to start with. We'll see how many we get out of this. I may pull some from the other just to do a full canner depending on what I've got. So first thing I'm going to do is get them washed off. So I'm going to put them over here in the sink and I'll bring you right back. I've got a hot pot of water sitting here and I'm trying to bring it to a boil so I can kind of blanch the skins just enough to get them to start peeling up a little bit so they'll peel off easier. I normally would put them in my tomatoes in the freezer for at least 24 hours, and then when you bring them out and they start defrosting, the peels just come right off of them. That's easier to me than doing this, but since I have them and they're ready and I've got 3 boxes to do, I'm just going to do them this way today. And another tip, don't fill your pot all the way up, because when you start adding your tomatoes in, your water level is going to rise and you don't want it to overflow your pot or not be able to do many at a time. So just do it a little bit over halfway and you'll be good. I also have a pan of cold water here, so once I take them out of the pot, we're going to dip them into here to cool them down. For those of you who've never done this before, to take these off, all you do is just pop them, pull them up. Really easy. And let me show you. You get bad spots sometimes, you'll get them. These I won't put in the water. I'm just going to cut and peel these, but I'll cut the bad out because the rest of that tomato is good, except for right there on the bottom. You'll get some like this. I had always heard that was from the sun. I saw on one of the gardener channels that this is where the bees sting the skin and it just leaves the little blemishes. That they say it's fine, it won't hurt anything, but that was just something I learned this year. I thought that was kind of interesting. You'll get some that are crinkly like this. They're a little harder to peel, but these are some really nice tomatoes. So like I said, I'm waiting on my water. As soon as it's ready, we're going to get started. Okay, I'm getting little bitty bubbles coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and start. What you want to do is score the bottom just with an X and drop them into the water. Show you another one. Well, I didn't show you that one too good. Let me grab another one. Okay. And I'm gonna keep doing this, guys, and once they get to where the skin's coming up, I'll bring you right back. Let me show you this tomato. You can see where it's kind of all curled up. This was more than 1 bloom growing together. That's fasciated, I think is what they call it. You'll see them like that. You just have to work around them, but they eat just as good. All right, this is what you want to see. You want to see it start peeling up just like that. That's all you need, and they'll just peel right off. These, they're ready too. So I'm gonna throw it. That one's not quite ready, but these 2 are. So I'm going to put them over here in our cold water. We're just going to dump them in our cold water bath. That's just to stop them from cooking anymore. And that's what I'm going to do till I get all of them done to this point. And when I get all of that processed, I'll bring you back. Okay, guys, we're going to start working on one. We're just going to peel the skin away. This one's a little harder because it's one of those fasciated tomatoes. Now, I don't leave my skins on when I do tomatoes. I do when I process my tomato skin juice. And you just want to get these little, with these fasciated, they kind of grow in on themselves. So you want to try to get that out. Just showing you how one of those, see, it's still kind of there. So we'll cut all that out. Put Put that in our scrap hole. And then you want to take the core out. So you just kind of cut around, trying to get it where you can see. This one's not the easiest. Let me cut it in two. So that has a big core where it was fasciated. So you want to get all of that out. And then you're just going to cut them up or mash them with your hands up, ever what size you want them to be. When I'm doing tomatoes, I just kind of chunk them just for the can, because they're going to, as they process in the canner, they're going to get smaller. Let me show you another one. It's maybe a little easier to, yeah, this one should do good. You just peel back, roll the skin up. Guys, it's messy, but it is so worth it to get these tomatoes this winter and fall. They just taste so much better than what you can buy in the stores canned. And you know what's going in them. You're processing them. And again, the bottom, if there's anything left, you want to just cut it off. One more spot. And then just cut it up. And that's what I'm going to keep doing, and I will bring you back when I get them all to this point. And I'm also saving my tomato skins because I'm going to put them on the dehydrator and make tomato powder. And I have a video for that. It's one of the first ones I ever did, if you want to check that out. Alright, we've cut up all the tomatoes. We're going to put them in our pot. And we're going to bring these to a boil and let them boil gently for about 5 minutes, and then we'll put them in our jars. Alright, we've got a little boiling going on. We're going to let this cook for 5 minutes like this, and then I'll bring you back. Okay guys, they finished. 5 minutes is up. I'm just going to skim some of this frothiness off as much as I can, because I don't really want that in my jars. And when I get that off to where I want it, I will bring you back. To each one of my jars, I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of citric acid and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. If you don't have citric acid, you probably need to add 2 tablespoons of bottled lemon juice, because you want to make sure your acidity is good on these tomatoes. Tomatoes are not all as acidic as they used to be, so you really need to make sure you've got that acid level where it needs to be to maintain your tomatoes. And using citric acid or the bottled lemon juice, which is at the acidity it should be, is going to keep your tomatoes fresh. So we're going to do, like I said, a 1/2 citric acid, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then we're just going to get ladle our tomatoes in up to a 1-inch headspace. Need just a little bit more, because I want to be right here. The jar's getting hot. Alright. I'm going to set it over here till I get the rest of my jars filled, and then I'll bring you back for the next step. Okay, I'm just going to clean my little rims off. I've got 2 little half pints I had sitting next to me, so I just grabbed them for what was left in the bottom of the pot. Let me grab some lids. I'm gonna put these on. One more. And then I have one wide mouth on its own. You grab some rings and I'll be right back. You're going to do your rings finger tight. Alright, they're all done. I'm going to put them over in the canner. Okay, I'm going to water bath them. We're not pressure canning, even though I have them in my pressure canner. You want a 1 to 2 inches over top of your jars. We're going to process the quarts for 45 minutes. And then the little ones will be for 40, like you would pints. And I'll take them out at 40 minutes. And these others will go for 45 too. So I'm just going to put the lids on, let them come to a boil, and once they come to a gentle boil, we'll do them for the process time of 40 and 45 minutes. Alright, I'm turning the heat off of both canners. Take my lid off. We'll let them sit here for a few minutes. Or about 5, and then we'll take them out. Let them cool down a little bit more. Well, here's the tomatoes. I ended up with 9 quarts and 2 half pints. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.